Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the TexAgs High School Football Show presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Academy has all your high school football road trip needs this season. Get the right gear for the long season with free curbside pickup today at Academy Sports and Outdoors. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the TexAgs High School Football Show presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. I'm Ryan Brauninger. He's Jason Howell. We continue to roll right along through the high school football season in the Lone Star State. And Jason, I saw, man, I feel like these games every week we're at least getting one where it's must see TV, like down to the wire. And
Mhm.
you never know when you go out and cover these games, but you're kind of fingers crossed every day, every time you go out that you're going to get a banger, just because it just keeps you engaged. And I feel like those go by
Mhm.
so much quicker than the blowouts do. But I got a good one. But we always start with you and what you saw in Dallas. So kind of recap your weekend for us.
Yeah, I got to see two of 2025's best. Friday and Thursday. Thursday night was out at Mesquite Memorial Stadium, one of my favorites in the DFW area. You always know you're going to get taken care of. Great food, but Mesquite Horn and Arlington facing off, and Mesquite Horn pulled away late for a 21-7 win. It wasn't always pretty. It was, downright nasty in a few instances, but, Lamont Rogers, 2025 O lineman, showed some really nice flashes over the last year. He's playing more disciplined and balanced, and he moves incredibly well. But you see exactly why he's so highly recruited. Everybody, Texas A&M offered in May, and he has everybody across the country getting after him. But big, athletic, moved really well. The first two plays, uh, play one, he sent some kid into the sideline, and then play two, he was blocking a guy across the formation into the next and pancaked him on the on the other hash. So it was he showed really well. Markel Ford had a couple late INTs to help salt away the win. And Horn was man, Horn's defense is really good, but yeah, they had some miscues on offense, and just some penalties and things like that, still kind of getting in the way and holding them back a little bit. But they're a dangerous team with a ton of talent, especially in that 26, 25 class. They've got some dudes. Legend Bay quarterback. He's a guy that definitely want to keep on the radar. He can get gone in a hurry, and he's got a big arm. As he grows and develops as a quarterback, he's going to be something to watch. Now on Friday, so I don't even think I got my bag unpacked before Forney was on the scoreboard. They 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 took it to West Mesquite from the word go, pulled out a 69-0 win.
Chiefs.
Second half, there was a running clock, but they housed the opening kickoff. Um, oh gosh, the kid's name Amari Jahil, 26, 6 foot, 170 pounds. He had a couple big plays, but housed the opening kickoff, and I want to say it was like 15-0. Forney before their offense even took a snap.
Gracious.
I mean, they got a defensive touchdown, a safety on like it was just one thing after the next. And then it was the first play from scrimmage or second play from scrimmage on offense. You got a touchdown reception. So, but Kelvion Riggins, linebacker for Forney, I mean, he continues to show a lot of great flashes. Yeah, I say flashes because I want to see more consistency. He obviously looks the part. He's explosive. He's quick. He showed a lot of change of direction. I'd like to see, him get more, making those reads and taking on blocks a little better. But he has all the tools that you look for, and he definitely brings a lot to the table as a young linebacker. Uh, that he loves A&M. A&M's way up there on his. I think he named the top 10, and then in 26, you better put Javian Osborne on your list. He only had 5 touches, I think, or 6 touches, 5 carries, uh, but he had 2 touchdowns, both impressive runs. He had another one called back. It was yeah, he's phenomenal. I know he's already got several offers. This is a kid. I'm going to say right now, A&M needs to get in the game with Javian Osborne. I'm going to say it like that. He's a 26, but he's already got Texas, USC, Oklahoma, everybody on him, and I think this is a guy A&M needs to get involved with if they want a chance.
Yeah, and it seems like every week we go out and do these things, more and more of those kids pop up, whether they're sent to us or whether we see them with our own eyes. And so it's cool. That's one of the cool things about our job, right? Is seeing these kids
Yeah,
so early. And I can remember the first time I saw Devon A. Chain, right? And it's like,
yeah,
man, this just different level player. And then, now you watch him make his NFL debut
yeah.
this past week for the Dolphins. So that's one of the cooler parts of our job. But I started with speaking of Devon A. Chain, I started in Missouri City, Sugar Land area
There you
on
go.
Thursday night. Saw a great game between Fort Bend Hightower and Fort Bend Ridge Point. Coach LeFavor's there at Ridge Point. Got a really intriguing roster, especially when you talk about young kids and young kids along the offense and defensive lines. Their 26 class is loaded up front. But that was a back and forth game. Fort Bend Hightower, plenty of high end playmakers in Zion Kearney going to Oklahoma, Jeremy Payne running back going to
Mm,
TCU. They got a really kind of shifty mobile quarterback in JoJo Stewart in the class of 2025 DB. Cade Phillips, I thought he was awesome in the game, and there was a lot of points scored, but I thought I really liked what I saw out of him. And he's just a football player. We saw that at
yeah,
camp, and when the pads come on, he's a little skinny still, but man, he flies around, has a good feel for the game, plays with good instincts, and isn't afraid to tackle. But back and forth game, Fort Bend Ridge Point ends up winning it 43-36. And Ridge Point, they're only 2-2 in the season, but they've loaded up in their non-district
yeah,
to get ready for a district run. And so it didn't surprise me that game was close, even though Hightower came in undefeated and state ranked. I kind of had to figured going in it would be close. And, I think when I looked around the state and I was doing my Bronny's best this week, quarterbacks were kind of the name of the game. And that was
uh-huh.
certainly evident in the game that I was at there Thursday night. This 2025 Fort Bend Ridge Point quarterback, Austin Carlisle, was awesome. And if you give me 1 second, I will pull up his stat line. I got it right here. Uh, he was 19 for 31 for 306
Ooh,
yards, four passing touchdowns. He also ran for 62 yards on
I
9
love it.
carries and plays the game, Jason, like with that Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel chip on his shoulder. Was really good off platform,
Okay.
creating down the field with his legs, maneuvering in the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield. And, you know, he's 5'11". If this kid's 6'2", we're having a real different conversation about where he is
Yeah,
amongst that quarterback class in the state in 2025. But he has got a ton of playmaking ability, and he really put the team on his back there on Thursday for a big win for the Ridge Point Panthers. Then on Friday, made the short drive up to Franklin to see his state ranked, number one state ranked Franklin Lions, back-to-back state champions in 3A Division I, take on a super talented Jasper squad who was coming off a loss to
mm,
Houston Legacy. But I was really expecting, it was really going to be intriguing to me, I thought, to see how Franklin handled just the overall athleticism of Jasper.
mhm.
And, they did an outstanding job. They really never let Jasper get going. That Franklin offense, that slot T, man, they ate up yards and ate up clock. And with a minute 25 to play in the second quarter, Jasper had run 9 offensive plays in the first
Oh,
half. That was it.
yeah,
So, Franklin, we know the names. We talked about him a bunch over the last couple of years. Jaden Jackson averaged 10 yards a carry, had a touchdown run. Devin Hadrago had a late touchdown run to ice the game. I thought, Braden Smith is making kind of the move from tight end to offensive lineman. He still plays tight end in that slot T, but he's being recruited as an offensive lineman and is starting to get some Power Five attention. Visited Baylor
Yeah.
on Saturday. So, Franklin did what Franklin does: controlled the game, controlled the clock. Their defense was outstanding. Had a pick six in the game, and really never let Jasper's athleticism just overwhelm them at all. And Jasper scored late. Was their only touchdown. They couldn't get the ball to Keati Armstrong, who,
Mm.
man, watching that kid run around, Jason,
Oh,
th
he's so
there
impressive. I
there's not
swear.
many more
Yeah.
physical
Yeah.
athletic freaks in the state than Keati Armstrong. I don't care what class we're talking
Yeah.
about. He's over 6'6" now, 84-inch wingspan,
Jeez.
and can really run. Just a super impressive athlete. Texas A&M commit Anthony Smith started to figure out that slot T stuff really in the second half, and I had him on my rough estimation at 12 total tackles. It
Wow.
was kind of hard to keep up, but I thought he played, especially the second half started showing, like you mentioned with Kelvion, like
Mhm.
wanting to see him play downhill a little bit more and take on blocks. You started to see Ty Anthony do that a little bit more as he got more comfortable with the offense he was looking at. So,
Yeah.
that's not a traditional thing that they're going to see week in, week out. So I imagine that's tough to prepare for with a scout team and probably your JV offensive line running the scout team.
Well, and
Uh,
Franklin runs it about as well as
yeah,
anybody.
sure,
So
sure. With good athletes and a
yeah,
power
exactly.
back in Jaden Jackson. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Franklin just keeps on rolling. It's 35 wins in a row now
Yeah.
for the Lions and Coach Fannin, and yeah, super impressive. That's a culture program now, man. That thing is just running like they're like a machine in 3A.
Reload.
Yep. All right. Well, so anything stand out around Dallas for you over the
Yeah.
weekend before we get into this week's games?
I got to drop a few scores. First, McKinney North getting out to a nice lead over Lancaster and pulling out the 28-21 win. That's a good Lancaster team with a lot of talent. And I know I didn't have McKinney North picked to win that ball game. So big win there. Salina and Anna in a overtime thriller. These are two of the top, smaller school programs. Look for both of these teams to make some playoff noise. But Salina comes out with a 42-40 win. And then I got to throw out Geyer and Prosper. Prosper pulls out 31-28 win in a knockdown, drag out district battle. And Sock gets a little revenge with a 49-14 win over Parish Episcopal. Now, this one's outside of my area, but this is one we mentioned last week, an East Texas battle that I really expected to be a ball game. Longview. Did you see that score?
Yeah, they ran off and left them.
42-0,
Yeah.
man. I don't know what happened to Lufkin there. I'm going to chalk that off as a one-off bad day because that Lufkin program, man, they've been tough this year, and that's as impressive a win in a rivalry type ball game as I've seen Longview have in a while.
Yeah, that was really impressive from Coach King. A couple in my area that stood out: Battle of Unbeaten's Willis and Conroe. You mentioned a kind of a crazy score line. Willis 63, Conroe 14 in a
Ooh.
Battle of Unbeaten's. Florida commit DJ Lagway with another big night there for the Wildcats, and then a crazy one. And I'm gonna go back to my Bronny's Best article this week. Cy Ranch 66,
Okay.
Cy Woods 41. 2025 Cy Ranch quarterback Owen Cassette. Here are these numbers, Jason: 28 for 35 for 479 and 8 passing touchdowns, 12 carries, 81 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. That's 560 total yards and 9 touchdowns for Owen Cassette, 2025 quarterback for Cy Ranch. And that's
He's doing some work.
video game numbers. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned the young running back at Forney. Keep an eye on a 2027 running back from Cy Woods named Wayne Shanks. I
Okay.
don't think any offers have come yet, but once that film starts circulating, I got it sent to me out of Houston over the weekend, and it's really impressive. 5'10", 170 pounds as a freshman, playing 6A varsity ball. That's impressive enough, but then the tape starts telling the story as well. So Wayne Shanks, a name to keep an eye on there in Northwest Houston. All right, Jason, where are you headed this week?
I will be taking in some of the top underclassmen offensive linemen. Thursday night, got Denton Ryan and the Colony out in Denton. Going to see Denton Ryan's 2025 offensive tackle Ty Haywood. And then on Friday night, I'll be at in Louisville. Get to stay close to home to see Louisville and Flower Mound out there at and check out Fasusi in 25 and Drew Evers in 26. So
You better
really
take good
excited.
photos of Fasusi. He's on you, right? About you taking.
Well, and Drew's the one that told me about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. All right.
uh,
Well, that should be a good one. That's two really high-profile offensive
yeah,
linemen there. On Thursday, I'm going to go see another. Speaking of high-profile offensive linemen, I'm going to go watch Jonte Newman and the Bridgeland Bears take
there you
on
go.
Jordan Washington and the Langham Creek Lobos at one of my favorite stadiums in the entire state, the Berry Center in Cypress.
There you
Should
go.
be a good one. Lonnie Madison's got Bridgeland back up and running, and they look like a pretty complete team. So interested to see how that one shakes out. And then on Friday, going to take a little bit of a drive to see one of the most anticipated rematches from last season in the state of Texas. And now it's a top 10 matchup. Fort Bend Marshall traveling to Port Neches Groves in Southeast Texas. Remember, last year, PNG beat Fort Bend Marshall in the state quarterfinals and ended up going all the way to the state finals. So you don't think that there's some I bet they've replayed that quite a bit there at the Fort Bend Marshall
no doubt.
Fieldhouse over the course of the week. So looking forward to see that one. That should be a huge atmosphere there in Southeast Texas. So, and I think Cade, if I'm not mistaken, Cade's going down to Refugio
Oh,
on Thursday to see A&M commit Ernest Campbell.
there you
And then
go.
on Friday, I believe he's going to do Hitchcock, which is, they're loaded
Yeah.
for a smaller team, and they're playing the Woodlands Christian. So private school against a small town there. But Hitchcock, what a crazy kind of athletic program they're putting together right now between the football and basketball teams.
There's a reason why I picked them as one of my state champions. So,
All right. Well, Jason, as always, be careful on the road. I'm glad you get to stay close to home, so you probably hopefully won't have any tire problems this week.
oh,
Uh,
yeah, jeez.
but wherever you're at, we hope you stay safe on the road and enjoy some Texas high school football. For Jason Howell, I'm Ryan Bronchard. Thanks for tuning in to the TexAgs High School Football Show.